final seconds here in this NBA season. The respect from those two. And that's it. It's over. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers conquer the bubble, and banner number 17 will soon hang in the rafters.
We just want our respect. Rob wants his respect. Coach Vogel wants his respect. Our organization wants their respect. Laker Nation wants their respect. And I want my damn respect too.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Ignorant Sports Talk. I'm Curtis Pankey, along with Jigs, Figs, and Eric. We've been off for a little while. Apologies. Sometimes life happens during a global pandemic, but we are back in full effect. Got a lot to talk about, a little bit of NBA, a little bit of NFL. So let us start with the NBA bubble. It is officially popped, and it is raining champagne all over Los Angeles. The Lakers are your NBA champions. LeBron gets his fourth ring. And let's start with the LeBron fan here, Mr. Figs Marley. Let's go.
Everything unfolded the way I expected. You know what I mean? Might be something
really?
like profit.
Everything you expected. Really?
Yeah, besides COVID-19, you know what I mean? But other than that, we in the right place. You know what I mean?
Miami in 7, though.
Huh?
Miami in 7, though.
Yeah.
Listen. We ain't gonna talk about it. All right. I was in a dark place. I had some Henny. I broke my phone. I just got a new one.
For our lovely viewers, after Game 5 when Miami won, Figs gave up. He threw in the towel. He changed his nickname in our group chat to Heat in 7.
God
damn. Even we were like, "Are you crazy?" And we're not even Lakers or LeBron fans, really. We were just like, "Man, that's a shift if I've ever seen one."
Right, so yeah, I gotta explain myself because that's definitely crazy. I gotta explain myself. So I saw Anthony Davis go down. I saw that motherfucker holding a part of his leg that's very scary. You know, normally when people hold that part of the leg, it's either an Achilles or an ACL or something of that nature. So I'm like, oh shit. And I didn't know how bad the injury was because, normally guys play off adrenaline and then they wake up in the morning and they're fucked. You know what I mean? So I thought it was one of those situations where, AD wouldn't be able to finish the finals, kind of like Chris Paul against the Warriors a couple of years ago. So that's really why I was worried because I'm like, if he can't go or if he's out there playing on one leg, trying to will the team to victory, that shit ain't going to work. Especially with Jimmy Butler playing the way he played. But they came out and dominated from start to finish in Game 6. I was shocked. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
I will say that Game 6 performance and specifically the way they ended the first half, like that stretch to close out the second quarter, if there was ever any does this team deserve it? Whatever, no, to me, that was just flawless execution, defense to the nines. Like, I love good defense when I'm watching basketball, and the Lakers just shut the Heat down so hard in that game, and I loved it.
Game 6 reminded me of that Simpsons episode where Homer becomes a boxer and fights Dredrick Tatum in the finals and just keeps getting wailed on and is still standing. That was Game 6, basically. The Lakers were just drubbing the Heat, and all the energy that they had in Game 5 was gone. And I mean, hats off to them. They're gonna be serious for the next few years in Miami. But I mean, LeBron showed why he's the king, and I give Figs and Jermaine a lot of flack on this show and in our group chat and stuff for that. But I mean, he's great for a reason, and we take it for granted. And it was a feel-good story for whoever won, unless you're a blinded Jordan fan, basically. But I mean, they're going to re-sign Davis, and who knows what they're going to do in the offseason. So it could be another one, and the Lakers could leapfrog the Celtics of their tie for most chips. So I think, they're both tied at 18, I think, now, or 17, whatever.
17.
So
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think they need to make some more moves in free agency in order to break that tie, or can they stand pat and
Definitely.
no,
Definitely.
they need to upgrade.
Listen, man.
Or tweak, whatever you want to call it.
Golden State is coming back with a vengeance, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not going to win as they're presently constructed, but they have a second-round draft pick. From what I'm hearing,
second overall draft pick.
Exactly. They don't want LaMelo Ball because, they don't think he's going to work with that system. So if Anthony Edwards goes first, because they want a big man, they're probably going to trade that pick. And who knows? They got Andrew Wiggins. They could keep him, or they could package him in the trade and fuck around and get somebody like a Bradley Beal or like a Karl Anthony Towns or something like that. If that happens, my goodness, so.
Can you imagine if that happened, if they traded for Cat and your D'Angelo Russell, who just left the Warriors to go play with your buddy?
That'd be hilarious.
If I was LeBron, I would just retire. I'd be like, listen, man, I made it to the top of the mountain again. I am not trying to see the Warriors on my resume again. Nope, not with Cat.
Although if the Lakers get a Chris Paul and the LA Chris Paul trade finally goes through friggin' like 10 years later, whatever the gap was between it.
Yeah.
Chris Paul lobbing it up to LeBron and AD. Oh man, that would be something.
That would definitely be something.
I just want to say real quick that I'm very disappointed the NBA bubble shut down as quickly as it did. My genuine hope was that because the bubble was so effective that they just slowly grow it till it consumed all of the USA. We eradicate the virus much better than the government has been doing. So,
did anybody see the video of? I think it was Bam. Bam, like there was a thing about how like Bam likes to walk through the resorts and stuff like that, and there was a video of him walking through, and across like a pond was the Lakers celebrating, and like you can hear the music playing and stuff like that. It's just like, oh man, I mean you're still there. Man. You have to hear the whatever in the like from your room. That was
you got to send that. Oh man.
Also, the Lakers left Quinn Cook when they were on the bus. That was so funny. Oh my god.
Bro, that shit was hilarious.
J.R. Smith, like, we forgot Cook. We forgot Cook.
He's like, I just won a fucking ring and y'all left me.
How J.R. Smith had his shirt off so quick after Game 6. I don't even know what to say. I just had to mention it, but it makes me.
Then Kuzma had his shirt off, and I think somebody else did. Like there were like at least 3 guys just like, yep, that's it.
I think what's even crazier is the fact that was like the kids that were getting their tip on in the middle of the court.
Oh, like Rondo's kid.
Yeah, there's had the ball in hand.
That photo is iconic. That is such a good photo. Whoever took that. Oh my god.
That shit is fucking hilarious. Oh my god. But since we're talking about J.R. Smith, I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron fan. So wherever he goes, I go. I'm happy they won. What do we make of guys like J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters that didn't do a goddamn thing? Sitting here acting like they blood, sweat, and tears was fingerprinted all over this championship. What do we make of that?
Well, J.R. Smith, I'm surprised because he's already won before, so it's not like, oh, it's your first ring, you're gonna do it big. Waiters I could get because it was his first, and he's been through a lot in his off season and his personal life with whatever.
Was Waiters not on the Miami team when they won?
I don't think he was. No. I think that was his first.
Okay.
He wasn't drafted as yet. I think he came in, or maybe he was. I think he was in Cleveland at the time.
I don't know.
Wait, is Waiters that young?
Waiters is 28.
Really?
Yeah. No, this was his first ring. He was on Cleveland 2012 to 2015, OK6 2015 to 2016, Miami 2016 to 2020.
What? Why do I feel like Dion Waiters has been in the league for much longer than that?
I agree. I thought he was older than 28. That is weird. But so him, I can understand that like he's gonna get hype. It's his first ring. He's been through quite a bit. I mean, JR is JR. Okay, that's to be expected. But like,
The Lakers got to re-sign both.
Listen, man. Honestly, I think both of those guys would have been pivotal pieces, but the Lakers had the privilege of being such a deep team that it didn't really need them. But it's not that they can't play anymore. They would both be pivotal pieces in an offense that wasn't as deep as the Lakers. So we'll see what happens in free agency if they get rid of guys like Danny Green and KCP, Rondo. If they get rid of those guys, maybe they get more minutes. We'll see what happens.
Did you guys hear why Danny Green said he was underperforming? Because he's doing that Achilles pain.
Yeah,
actually.
Achilles. Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know about that. But like, I mean, hats off to him because that man, like, no player should receive fucking death threats from people because your shot is off.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And he had, to his credit, a solid, game 6. I mean, there's only so much he's expected to do, but 3 for 7 from 3, 11 points, 5 rebounds. Like, he had a solid game. He's like LeBron, three teams, 3 chips.
Back-to-back championships.
I mean, one of the nicer guys you'll ever see being interviewed. He still hasn't received his Raptors ring because he wants to do it when he's in Toronto. So he's going to get his Lakers ring before he gets his Raptors ring, which is crazy. So, I mean, hats off to him. No one deserves the treatment him and his girlfriend have gotten. Good Lord. People need to calm the fuck down sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
players in Brazil are like,
I was more mad at Markieff Morris than Danny Green after game 5. I'll be honest with you, because he had a straight on look. It was cool. Then it's Danny Green. He hasn't been the same since 2017. So, he wasn't that great on the Raptors either. If we really want to sit here and be honest. So
I will say his regular season with the Raptors was pretty steady, right? Like he earned that shooting guard position over Fred Martin.
Oh yeah.
But when the playoffs came around, he fell off. It was unfortunate.
Which is weird because we've always known him as somebody that rose to the occasion in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So the last 2 years have been kind of, unheard of when it comes to Danny Green. But I don't know, man. He's still a good guy, like Benke said. I hope he bounces back. I don't know.
He does bring it on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this free agency. I know everyone's got their eyes like they're just waiting on next year where all the big names come through. But this is the season. This is the free agency where you got to build that supporting cast worth drawing the big free agent next year. So all the small signings I think are going to be quite important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially. I mean, again, this is hometown bias, but like with the Raptors, if you're going hunting for Giannis, you have to lay out the groundwork this offseason. Do you pay Fred? How much do you offer Fred? Do you let him go? Do you keep guys like Ibaka and Lowry for one more year and then let the contract go off, or do you completely wipe the slate clean and let the younger guys, the Ananobi's, Siakam, even guys like if Van Vliet goes and let's say Lowry goes, you have Terrence Davis taking over, or if the Lakers can get rid of most of their bench and be we're going to retool around LeBron and AD and see what other guys want to come for cheap and go ring chasing, especially if they go for a Chris Paul, you're going to have to really penny pinch.
Oh yeah. I think they should go after DeMar DeRozan. I ain't even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. I mean, Chris Paul is cool, but, he's not getting any younger. I originally thought they should go after Bradley Beal, but he was quoted yesterday saying that he wants to be in Washington.
That doesn't make sense. I respect a person being loyal, but the Wizards have done him dirty so many times over. Oh my God.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I understand the money. There's definitely the money aspect, but a guy that's that talented, why would you want to go your whole entire career with not winning a ring, barely making the motherfucking playoffs? What is that?
He's still young. I'm sure if things don't change for him soon, his mind will change.
Hopefully so.
I mean, for his sake, I hope he knows something about John Wall that we all don't know about his like recovery and like his like his 2 years of off season like stuff. But yeah, I don't, because I mean, there's a couple of guys I like on Washington, but it's not like it's going to be a game changer for them anytime soon for like the East.
Yeah, most of those guys are probably going to end up getting moved anyway. So, and John Wall, I forgot that motherfucker even played basketball. Like, he's been going that long. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. He's holding on to some type of hope. I don't know where it comes from, but hey.
I mean, there's other like. No, sorry, Eric, go.
I think Washington should sign him to like a short-term deal and then try to flip him from some picks, because they know they don't got a future that they can build around. So they just need to get what they can out of him and trade him for some value. Because I don't think
he's got a few more years left. They recently extended him, so him and Wall are still locked in. That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. Beal can come out and say he wants to stay with Washington, but it also Washington has to want to keep him and think that they're going to be competitive sometime in the near future.
I think they're just waiting for the right moment to trade him away. You know what I mean? But I don't know. There's a lot of teams with assets. I fear the Warriors. If the Warriors get him, oh my God, I'm not watching basketball anymore. But
I can't lie. I'm very excited to see how the Warriors bounce back next year.
I ain't gonna lie. Right now, they probably got the most assets. So if anybody could get Bradley Beal, it would be them.
But
I don't know.
Would Beal work on the Warriors when you got a backcourt of Curry and Thompson already?
It could work because Thompson is long enough to play the 3, so it could work.
Mm-hmm.
You could put Bradley Beal at the 2 and put Thompson at that. That could definitely work, especially if they luck up and get
winger.
Yeah, especially if they luck up and get like
for bigger guys too.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Bradley Beal shoots that shit. I ain't gonna say he's as good as a shooter as Clay and Steph, but he could shoot that thing. So that would be dangerous.
But speaking of assets, OKC has like a ton of draft picks, and look how far they made it with the fresh new roster. Like, why not just trade away and start acquiring people, because it doesn't look like they need to take the long road anymore. They can speed up the rebuild.
If you're OKC and you don't find a trade for Chris Paul that gives you, enough, maybe what you're looking for, do you just try to run it back again and see if maybe, like, obviously you don't think you're going to win a championship per se, but you can use Chris Paul's presence to develop your young guys even further, because he is one of the smartest guys on the court still.
I could see that.
It seems like he actually enjoys playing there, which was the biggest question mark when he got traded there in the first place, is how is he going to feel about being on this team? And he had that heartfelt message to OKC after they got knocked out. And I mean, like you had said, OKC has a friggin' war chest of draft picks that they can get even more assets for if they trade Chris Paul, and to do that where they got even more first-round draft picks. They have like 2 teams worth of first-round draft picks alone, let alone the second-rounders that they have. In general, there's going to be a big move for a lot of teams, because along with OKC, that they can do whatever they want with all those picks. Houston cleaned house of their front office and head coach. Morey's gone and D'Antoni's gone, so that's going to be a huge philosophy change for that team. The Clippers are in a friggin' fire right now, it seems. I don't know how they're going to get out of it. But
Catalina wine mixer.
Honestly, yeah. So with going back to Chris Paul, though, I think if you're the front office for OKC, you go up, you talk to him like, listen, do you want to stay? Do you want to be a part of this? And if not, we'll happily, we'll oblige your request to leave. You've done a lot for us in 1 year already, and like I don't think there's any animosity to the whole thing. I wouldn't if I was OKC, because you have Gilgeous and all the other young guys, Schroeder and everything. But I think it comes down to what Chris Paul wants to do in his career. If they're like, oh, we can trade you to LA, and they'd be like, yeah, give me send me to LA finally after the block trade.
Yeah, I can see that. See, the thing about OKC, they're a small market, so they're not really going to have any success via free agency. So everything they do is probably going to have to come through trades. You know what I mean? So I could see like either two things. You know what Eric said, they could beat up on the rebuild and just get rid of those assets that they have and try to play around, see what else they can get, or they can trade Chris Paul and whatever they get, you could try to build around Gilgeous. I don't know if they trust Gilgeous that much. I think he's going to be a stud in a couple of years. I don't think he's there yet, but they can try to build around him and see how that works. So it's really up to them. The ball is in their court. Like they have all the power when it comes to.
I like Gilgeous quite a bit. I'm very excited for his development.
Yeah, me too.
And over the next couple of drafts, we can. I mean, every year for the next few years, you can be like, oh, is OKC going to trade up and throw their picks around? Because I'm trying to think of where they are right now in this draft, wherever they're located. Because like every year now, it's going to be like, are they going to trade up? Can they call a Golden State and be like, we'll give you even more picks if you let us move up, or whoever. Now they have that.
They got a lot of leverage, man. Oh, my God.
Trying to see what order they're in. But anyway, speaking of some philosophy changes, there's been some head coaching changes. Big one being that Tyronn Lue is now the head coach of the Clippers for a 5-year deal. So there is some, at least if it doesn't work out, he's got some security financially, but they seem to be in the long haul with Ty Lue. He's had experience with veteran teams before, i.e. the LeBron Cavs that won. The Clippers, from recent articles, there's a lot of animosity or just no one's on the same page. Guys like Lou Williams and Harrell were upset with how Kawhi was treated in LA this year, with like being late to flights and sitting games and stuff like that. Does Ty Lue, is he the guy that can get everyone on the same page and actually get the Clippers to the finals?
Man, listen. Ty Lue, he's a great coach. I think he's very underrated. I do remember hearing that as soon as he got to Cleveland, he got there in the middle of the year. And he told these guys, like, y'all are out of shape. We're not winning no championship like this. Y'all are out of shape. And Kyrie's like, what? Like, it's the middle of the year. Like, what do you mean? He's like, y'all are out of shape. So he made them run more, and he pretty much put his imprint on the franchise. He didn't take shit from LeBron. That's the thing that stood out to me the most about him. He was very vocal when it came to LeBron. You'd see on a lot of occasions there on the sidelines cursing each other out. It was one game he told him to shut the fuck up when he was talking. And you can, like, if you look at the video, you can see him mouthing, like, shut the fuck up, And LeBron is pissed. He's in the corner like this and shit. But, yeah, he's – I don't know. I really like Ty Lue as a coach. I feel like he can light a fire under those guys. Doc was kind of old school. Not to say he's not a good coach. He just, he stuck to his philosophy. I think Ty Lue will experiment more and kind of see what works best for the organization. He's not going to show Kawhi that favoritism. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's not going to show Kawhi that favoritism. So Kawhi's going to have to adjust. You know what I mean? And I can't say that we didn't see this whole Kawhi shit coming, though. You look at the beginning of the year, motherfuckers traveling around with his uncle. He's making all these ridiculous requests to teams.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the request was he made to Toronto, but, I can't blame Toronto for just saying, okay, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. You know what I mean?
Well, aside from, like, wanting Paul George, there were rumors that his uncle wanted, like, piece of, like, ownership or something like that. Like ridiculous claims and stuff like that.
The Clippers situation I find so intriguing because a lot of the criticisms or complaints that are surfacing now about, Kawhi are things that when he was with Toronto the year before weren't issues, but now there's suddenly issues. And I don't know what happened, like what changed. I think there's obviously a different culture with the Clippers, right? When Toronto, had Kawhi on load management and stuff, all those decisions were made because it would benefit the team as a whole. Kawhi had to recover from a mistreated injury, and they still found ways to get him to gel with his teammates and such. And obviously it worked out for the best because they won. Then he goes to LA, and now I think LA's making decisions more to cater to him as opposed to what's going to be most effective for the team. They're like, yeah, whatever you want, man. So I think that culture change might have gotten to his head. But then when I think about the criticisms he vocalized about Rivers after they were eliminated, saying, they never had a plan B, and their, guys didn't know where to go once their set was figured out and stuff like that. I don't know, man. The finger could be pointed in many ways, but at this point, what's done is done. Like, you just got to work towards the future. What's going to happen next year?
No, I agree with you. I think, you know what it is in Toronto? You guys had a bunch of players with no egos, and I feel like that helps. You have players that also there was no pressure on that Toronto team. You know what I mean? So when he went to the Clippers, there was a ton of pressure. People were already saying, yeah, they're going to beat the Lakers. They're the title favorites. So there was a ton of pressure, not only on the Clippers, but on Steve Ballmer, on Jerry West. So they showed they showed a sense of desperation. And I feel like that's why they tried to cater to him and, give him whatever he wanted, because he knew they were only going to go as far as Kawhi took them. You know what I mean? I don't think it was fair to the other guys. But like I said, you got guys like Serge Ibaka and Fred VanVleet. These guys don't have egos. They're going to do whatever is expected of them. They're scrappy. They're dogs. But as far as egos go, they're going to do whatever's expected of them. You know what I mean? Now we're talking about guys like Lou Williams, Paul George. It's not really the same. Like, those are the guys that would probably have an issue more. So I think that's probably where the change came in.
Now that you mention it, Jigs, it did seem, in hindsight this season, it did seem like the Clippers were still trying to recruit Kawhi, and it's like, he's on your team. Like, you signed him to the money. Like, can we, like, the fact that Lawrence Frank won executive of the year this year, like, really? After you guys, like, stalked Kawhi all season in Toronto, like, showing up to Raptors games and stuff like that, really? That's what an executive of the year does? Like, come on. Like, Magic didn't get it when he signed LeBron. Like, it's the same scenario. You got the big fish, and, like, there is challenges to that. I'm not going to say it's easy, but like I don't understand why he got it and, like, Magic didn't when he got LeBron, or, like, or, like, other executives not getting it. Like, nothing that they did screamed like executive of the year stuff. It's like, we got the big fish, great, and then we're still pandering to him. Like, the complaints about him living in San Diego, I don't have a problem with that. Like, he can live wherever he wants, but it's more of him being late to flights, if that is true. I have no reason to believe that it's not true. Like, he can live wherever he wants, but if he's still late to, like, leave an hour earlier, for God's sake, if that's really what it's going to – if you want to live where you want to live, you accommodate to not be late for flights, for God's sake. It's a bare minimum thing that you can do as a teammate, for God's sake.
So do you guys think that now Kawhi's at the point, I got my ring last year. Now at this point, I'm just getting paid. I'm living my life the way I want to live it. I don't really care about, getting another chip so much. It's more about just living my life the way I want to live it, and that's kind of rubbing people the wrong way.
If he went to the Lakers, I'd agree with you, but he went to the Clippers for a reason. He went to the Clippers to be the guy.
I think Kawhi's still really young and still, he's still in his prime if he's even there. And he doesn't strike me as the guy who's, like, just ready to call in his career, right? So yeah. I think he was trying to get the best of both worlds. I can be on a competitive team, I can take him to the finals, and I can, be at home with my family and start to enjoy what I've worked hard for outside my career. I just don't think the Clippers organization, optimized his skills and his personality. And I also think the culture of the city of LA may have glamorized his whole, time there a little too much.
Oh yeah. It really came, like I said, it came down to the rivalry between them and the Lakers, the fans, it's all of that. And then on top of that, I feel like winning the championship, first year in Toronto, nobody expected them to. Free agency, all of the chatter. These guys act like they don't listen to ESPN, but they do. They hear it. I feel like all of that might have got to his head just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? So he kind of got to thinking, I'm the guy. Like, I'm, the King commercials and shit. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm the guy. I can do whatever the fuck I want,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take off 5 games. I'll be back. Don't worry, And what could they really do? Like I said, he had Steve Ballmer and Jerry West eating out of the palm of his hands all year. You know what I mean? So
Here's the other thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, when Kawhi was in Toronto, he was our best player, but he wasn't our leader.
nope.
Kyle Lowry was definitively the leader of the team.
Mm-hmm.
On the Clippers, Kawhi seemed to have been put into that leadership role because I don't really see any of those other guys taking it. Like, Paul George doesn't strike me as, the guy who's, the fighting spirit of the team. Maybe a Pat Bev or a Montrezl Harrell, but no, I think Kawhi was kind of forced into that leadership role. And then he's not exactly leading by example because he just is like, I'm going to go out there and score and do what I do.
Basically.
So let's take it one step further now. Do the Clippers this offseason start to shuffle everything around Kawhi some more? And they make a lot of dramatic roster changes. You know what I mean? Like they gut the people that are not happy with Kawhi, and then they just replace people that are more willing to get with it.
Hey, there could be some of that. I did hear that the Nets, behind the scenes right now, they're trying to trade for Paul George, and they're willing to give up a lot of their young assets. Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. I heard another name in there. I can't remember who it was, but I think that's something the Clippers might consider. Because Kawhi is a great talent. We saw how good they were even before Paul George came back from his injury. They were looking pretty good without him on the court. Now, obviously, they're better with him, but if you can get a few young guys like Karis LeVert, who has a lot of upside.
I love Karis LeVert.
I'm
Jared
a fan
Allen.
Jared Allen, I'm a huge fan on. He's a huge upgrade over Zubac, for God's sake.
Oh, hell
I mean, the fact that he has been pushed so aside in Brooklyn for DeAndre Jordan, it's like, man, that is backwards thinking, for God's sake.
Yeah, I don't get that. He's a hell of a rim protector. You know what I mean? The kid can rebound. And that's a missing link for the Clippers. They don't have a rim protector.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to get a Jared Allen, and you still keep Lou Will, you know what I mean? I think Montrezl is going to leave. Oddly enough, I think he's going to end up in Toronto. But if you get a guy like Jared Allen, you don't really need Montrezl. You keep Zubac on the bench. I think it would actually be an upgrade for them. Honestly, I think the Nets would be stupid to trade for Paul George because giving away all of those young pieces, I think, it would be stupid on their part. It would actually be a win for the Clippers. But, I mean, it remains to be seen what happens.
Could you imagine if they traded Kyrie in that trade for Paul George? It's not going to happen, but, could you imagine what that would be like? Freaking Kawhi and Kyrie.
Bruh. Oh, my God.
Kyrie flat. Okay.
Oh, man.
Kyrie has such a negative aura, man. I don't know I don't know. I don't know if he can work with anybody at this point.
Yeah. Speaking with other people, I heard another rumor that Brooklyn's looking to get Embiid. Can you imagine Embiid and Kawhi having to work together?
Woo.
Wait,
Woo.
Brooklyn or the Clippers?
Brooklyn or the Clippers?
Sorry?
You said Brooklyn or LA? You said Kawhi.
No, Brooklyn was looking to acquire Embiid.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, that would be stupid.
Embiid and Kawhi. Embiid and Kyrie.
KD. God. That would be stupid.
Exactly.
Why?
But, speaking of personnel problems, do you guys think Doc's gonna fix Philly's problems with their chemistry?
I think he's gonna try. I think he's that's why I don't think Simmons or Embiid are gonna go anywhere. I think he wants to try with this group, see what he has in them, and then maybe during the season we'll see a change if need be.
Yeah, this is the year we're gonna see if Doc still has it coaching wise. You know what I mean? Because he's He's with a team that, I mean, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs, but nobody expects the Clippers to win. I mean, the Sixers to win the title. You know what I mean? So we're going to see what he's made of. We're going to see, you know, if his coaching really has an impact. Me personally, man, I think Simmons got to go, bro. Like, I've seen clips of guys. Simmons is at the top of the key and guys is down low, like risking getting the 3 seconds because they know the motherfucker can't shoot. It's like, when guys can guard you like that, you're a liability to your team. I don't care how nice you are athletically. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. We're going to see. It's only so much you could do with a nigga like that. We're going to see what Doc can do.
Also, Doc isn't the GM in Philadelphia. So management can be like, all right, we're yanking the cord on this. We're making the move. Like, even if Simmons does play well, like, it could be like, we've seen enough. We're gonna get him. If Doc can elevate Simmons' game, management could be like, okay, this is the highest value we could possibly get him at.
And
we're gonna pull the trigger. Nothing personal against Doc, but like, we've seen enough, and we need to. There needs to be a big change.
They're gonna at least let him try, because they went from D'Antoni to Rivers so quick once he was available. You got to think they see something in him with the current squad, so they're gonna let him try.
It was Brett Brown.
Speaking of coaches.
No, when they were about to hire D'Antoni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Speaking of coaches, Steve Nash in Brooklyn, guys. What are we thinking?
I like Steve
coach?
Nash as a hire because he's I think he'll do well as a former player turned coach. My concern was that Kyrie Irving comment where he was like, we don't really have a head coach. Like, I could be the head coach. KD could be the head coach. Like, no. You can't disrespect Steve Nash like that and already go over his head like that. Like, God,
I'm scared. I'm scared for Steve Nash, actually. Because I think he's definitely, you know, a great basketball mind, can probably become a very deserving head coach, but starting his coaching career with this batch of characters, strong personalities,
nice way to put it.
It's going to be hard on him, and I just hope it doesn't derail his coaching career before it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we kind of saw it with maybe like a Jason Kidd. He wasn't dealing with strong personalities, but he was put in a situation where it's like, all right, this is a win now team. Take him there. And when you don't, it hurts you a lot. So I just don't want, like, if the fit with the Nets isn't as ideal as it's expected to be, I don't want it to hurt him in future coaching opportunities.
You know, I think Nash can do something, but it takes guys buying in. And when you got a guy like Kyrie, who's a point guard, you know, who I'm sure studies the game, we're talking about a guy who arguably top 5 point guards, top 6 point guards of all time here. How would you disrespect him by saying, oh, yeah, we don't really have a head coach? Like, that's just fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
You know,
Yeah.
I think I'd love to see Steve Nash the head coach of?
What's that?
The Thunder.
Hmm.
Imagine taking that squad of young guys, even if they still keep Chris Paul, you know, a guard-centric team that can use the wisdom of Nash. Oh, that to me seems like a much better fit.
Yeah.
Also a young Canadian star on the roster.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I don't. It's there's no middle ground with this first year with Nash in Brooklyn. It goes really well, or we hear a lot of stories about him not being able to reach Kyrie or whomever. Mm-hmm. And I hope that Brooklyn has done their due diligence because they've slowly recovered after the years of garbage after the KG Paul Pierce trade where they bet the farm and failed horribly. But yeah, it's very volatile, and I don't know because I liked I can't remember his name, the intern Brooklyn coach that is still on the roster on the staff. But like he did a good job with Brooklyn this past. Yeah, he did a great job with them the previous season. Like I was surprised when they were like, oh, when they made the announcement, and the fact that he stayed, that's even more unique. Where he's going back to being an assistant.
Yeah.
But I think that could help Nash a lot, having him still there, who's used to the non KD Kyrie guys. But I mean, Kyrie Irving's a friggin' enigma. I don't know what coach could reach him. I mean, it could be Nash, where he's like, check my resume, I'm a friggin' Hall of Famer. You might be a Hall of Famer. To Kyrie, completely just G-check him, basically, Canadian G-check. But yeah, that's going to be a fascinating situation for the East.
Yeah. Nash is going to have to, like you said, put that motherfucker in his place, you know. And frankly, I don't know if Nash has it in him because, you know, we haven't really seen much of, you know, him yelling or screaming at anybody throughout his career, you know. But that's not to say he don't got it in him because, you know, them silent killers. So, you know,
we forget that for the past, I think, 2 or 3 years, he's been on Golden State's, you know, front office, just like helping players. And I'm sure him and Kerr are just chatting all the time and like picking each other's brains. I'm sure he's learned quite a bit from Kerr how to deal with a stacked lineup in that organization and the expectations around that. So yeah, that's gonna be like one of the top stories entering this. Whenever the NBA season starts, probably sometime in January or later. Yeah, the only other interesting team aside from like, you know, the Lakers, Clippers, and well, there's so many, but I want to touch on Houston quickly because the experiment's gone. Daryl Morey's leaving. D'Antoni's quit. You have a very small roster that is around James Harden. They do have pieces to move around, but it could be the Rockets could be the biggest 180 for how they're going to look this season and the next few seasons, depending on who they hire.
Sign and trade Van Vliet for James Harden.
Oh my God! Yo,
wow,
that is wishful thinking.
That is
fun,
with other shit, but you know.
Oh my God. No, I wouldn't have even guessed that in my wildest Raptors trade dreams.
Nah, Jake, you gotta be a GM someday, man. That was awesome.
Oh my God.
But I don't know, man. I don't see anybody coming into that situation and buying into that small ball shit. You know, I think.
Oh yeah.
Morey was unique in that, right? Like, I don't know what he saw there. It was cool. You know, it showed signs of, oh, maybe this could work. But they ran into the Lakers, and that shit got quiet real fast.
They could have gone small, but they shouldn't have traded Capella. That was that was the shocker of the whole.
You shouldn't be strictly small ball. Like, you got to have a big guy, a break in case of emergency type. You know, when you're in a matchup that the small ball gets exploited, you got to have a backup strategy.
Oh, yeah.
And now Capella is fighting for playing time with John Collins in Atlanta.
I don't know. I think they're actually going to be all right in Atlanta this year. You know, I would start Collins at the 4, put Capella at the 5, and see how that works. You know, could be interesting.
I mean, Atlanta's going to be good, but if I'm Capella, I'm like, man, this is some bullshit.
Oh yeah. You went from one game away from the finals to the Hawks. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Is there any other NBA topics to touch on?
I don't think so. I mean,
I imagine we'll do a free agency recap.
Free agency starts tonight, and I mean, we'll by the time we do our next one, I'm sure we're gonna have a boatload of more free agency stuff because it's gonna be some savvy trades and signings this offseason.
I got one big prediction. Van Fleet to the Knicks. The Knicks are gonna overpay him ridiculously. He's gonna end up in the Knicks roster. You know, is he restricted or unrestricted?
Unrestricted.
Unrestricted.
Oh, yeah, he's going to the Knicks.
I can see a sign and trade deal happening with Van Vliet because there's obviously a lot of respect between him and the organization, both ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he knows that he deserves to get paid, and Toronto might not be ready to pay him that much. But I also think he doesn't, you know, if he can go somewhere still, get the bag, and maybe allow Toronto to recoup some assets, he'll do that.
Using Van Vliet, here's a move that I don't think this is very likely, but I could see Masai doing it. A sign and trade deal that involves Van Vliet and other assets to Indiana for Oladipo.
Yeah, I've seen that pop up, and it if that happens, it makes sense because Oladipo wants out of Indiana. He's got 1 year left on his contract, so it lines up with next year's free agency window. Maybe you re-sign him at that point if it helps attract the big guy, or you can let him walk so you're not strangled by that. It kind of, it makes sense. I just don't know if Indiana needs Van Vliet when they've already committed to Brogdon.
Yeah.
But is Brogdon running their offense though?
Oh,
Who's their point guard though?
Is it not Brogdon?
Yeah, it's been Brogdon.
Oh, okay.
He's had a solid year with them last year. You know what I mean? So,
I
think
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Van Vliet's proven that he can play in a backcourt with 2 point guards, right?
Yeah.
And Indiana's shown they're not afraid to double dip with their whole oh my God, they're the big men. Why am I forgetting their names?
Turner and Sabonis.
That's it. Thank you. They're not afraid to be like, we're gonna have 2 guys that are very similar, and we'll play whoever we can.
Yeah, they're another team that has no pressure on them. They're not expected to do anything, so it makes whatever moves they make, they can make it freely.
I also think that Chris Paul to the Lakers is gonna be a thing.
Has Indiana hired a new coach yet?
They're looking at last I checked, they're looking at what's his name, Mike D'Antoni.
Let's see.
Has New Orleans hired a new head coach yet?
Nah, they're looking at Stan Van Gundy from what I saw.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Indiana. I don't think has hired anybody. I don't think the Pelicans have hired anybody yet. Pelicans head coach.
Have the Thunder fired Donovan, right?
Yeah.
Have they hired anyone yet?
Have they? I haven't heard anything about this.
Man, there's so many vacancies going into free agency.
Yeah.
It's a very irregular year.
Because Donovan's in Chicago, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Coach of the year candidate getting fired. That fucking sucks, man.
Hey, Toronto fired a coach of the year winner.
I know, yeah, that's shit.
Can't knock it. It worked.
It did. It definitely did.
For a team that is as young as the Raptors, I mean, the fact that they've had 3 coach of the years in their 27 years now, 26 years. It's like Jesus Christ.
25 years.
25 years. But I digress. Shall we switch it over to some National Football League?
Yes. Oh man. Okay. There are so many good teams in the NFL this year that I really don't know. I mean, the Chiefs are obviously everyone's favorite, but especially in the NFC, man, the way Seattle's playing, the way Green Bay's playing, what's the other team? In the AFC, the Bills, Steelers, and Titans all trying to compete with the Chiefs.
Except for the NFC East.
For this season.
Except for the NFC East.
Oh, yeah. We ain't going to talk about that, though.
Bro, Dalton's going to take us to the promised land. An 8-9 record and a first-round exit. Woo!
I actually think that guy is going to end up being the best backup quarterback in the history of the NFL, bro.
I mean, he should be. I mean, he's okay. I think Dalton's, obviously a very capable quarterback, and I don't think he's ever had what he's about to be surrounded by in Dallas. Those 3 wide receivers, a star running back, and banged up but still good, a still effective offensive line. I don't think he's ever had that in his time in Cincinnati.
Oh, this is infinitely better than Cincinnati. Any of the years.
If there was ever time to take advantage, it's right now.
I'm not going to lie. It was very, very – and I don't compliment this man a lot because I fucking hate him, but it was a very good move by Jerry Jones to sign Andy Dalton. Very good move. Very good move.
Yeah, because no one expected him to be if he was going to be a backup, no one expected him to be a backup on a good team. He'd be a backup on a bad team that he would eventually step in like sooner or just
Exactly.
win the job outright rather than wait for an injury to happen.
But he's from Dallas, right? Like that was part of the allure. Was like he's going back home.
He played at least at TCU. Katy, Texas, apparently. So yeah, he's a Texas guy.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I need to mention that Dak injury was devastating, heartbreaking to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. So.
I'm a Giants fan. I could care less about the Cowboys, but that shit hurt to watch. And Dak is somebody that I was rooting for because it's his contract year. So I wanted to see him get paid, whether it was with the Cowboys or with another organization. You know what I mean? So that sucks.
He's such a great guy on and off the court, field. Like
yeah.
he's a guy that you can't not root for regardless. Like just on a personal level.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very hard to root against somebody like that.
Yeah,
very hard. Yeah.
He's with all of his off the field stuff. He's become an advocate for mental health, and all of his dealing with his the loss of his brother and all that stuff. It's just if you didn't feel for Dak when he got hurt, or any player in general, but in this specific case, if you didn't feel like sorry or saddened about it, you're just a terrible person. I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah.
But
like I know Giants fans that like burn Cowboys flags for fun. That were like, God damn, Dak. Like it hurt everybody. It affected everybody. So
yeah.
It sucks for Dalton that Tyron Smith is going to be out for the season for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have a good O-line. But the fact that you have like one of the premier tackles happens to go down also after he gets his first tap, and I think it's something to do with his neck, which is very nerve-wracking for that. But anything could happen in the NFC East, so I think the Cowboys are still the front runners even after losing a franchise quarterback.
Oh yeah, they're gonna win it outright. I think they're gonna lock it up with Andy Dalton now, because you know why? Nobody expects anything. So the Cowboys do the best when nobody expects well of them, which is weird. You know what I mean? So I think they're gonna run away with the NFC East now.
Zeke needs to hold on to the football like he holds a bowl of cereal. He keeps dropping that ball. My God, Pollard's gonna friggin' take it and run from him.
Okay, let's move off the Cowboys, man.
First time you'll ever hear that.
One last thing about the Cowboys, though, with Andy Dalton at quarterback, do you think there's a change in favorite target? Like, you think Amari is still a one, or does Lamb start, take it based on like new chemistry?
That was a very good question.
From my understanding, I think the offense is still going to be run the same, right? I think you're going to see a lot of the same play calls, a lot of like not having Dak doesn't change how the offense is going to operate. One thing that's obvious is Dalton's definitely less mobile. You're not going to have a lot of those options where you can take the ball and run with Dalton. I don't know. In that brief time that he closed the game out against the Giants, obviously Gallup showed to be his favorite receiver. I don't know. I see CeeDee Lamb getting a lot of benefit out the slot.
Yeah. I feel like Amari is losing his zeal. I'm not saying he's talented, but these guys are taking a little bit of his zeal away from him, man.
I think Cooper's being played as the top wide receiver from the perspective of the defense. So he's probably going to draw the harder coverage or the tougher assignments.
Yeah.
But all three of them are very capable. And CeeDee Lamb has really impressed me the way he started this season. So
yeah, I don't think there's a argument that the Cowboys have the best receiving core in the NBA in the NFL right now. I mean, you could probably put Buffalo up there with them, but other than that,
I love Diggs.
Yeah.
But here's something you might not want to hear, though. If the Gallup and Dalton connection continues, there's a good possibility that the Cowboys could get rid of Amari, because they're not tied to a lot of money in the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, they gave him a contract this past offseason. I'd be surprised if they moved on from him that quickly. But yeah, I mean, when you got 3 talented wide receivers and you got to fix other aspects of your team,
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I
they
could see
signed.
CD. No, go ahead.
He's got a 5-year, $100 million deal. Amari.
Yeah.
So that was signed in March.
Yeah, no, but it's front loaded, so they don't have to keep him for like 2 years, and then after that, the cap hit is much smaller after 2 years.
It's certainly front loaded. $60 million is guarantees.
Damn.
I want to ask you guys this: of the 4 undefeated teams though so far, which would be Seattle, Tennessee, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh, who do you think is the last one standing, the last one to stay undefeated?
I think it'll be Seattle. I wanted to say Pittsburgh, but I don't know if you guys watched that game. Philly was able to find the holes in their defense. You know what I mean?
So I'll just let you know, Seattle's the only one that's 5-0. The rest are 4-0.
Yeah. I think it's Seattle. I wouldn't bet against Seattle. You know, Russell Westbrook. Why do I keep fucking up on this? Russell Wilson is most likely going to be the MVP this year. You know what I mean? We saw what they did, that resilient comeback. You know, I turned the channel, turned back. I'm like, what the fuck? How? How did they win? You know what I mean? But, yeah, I think that was their best shot at losing. I'm not going to say they're going 16-0, but I definitely think they'll be the last one standing.
No, man. Look, Seattle just barely lost. And matter of fact, Dalvin Cook went down in the game, and he still barely won. So I think Green Bay has a better chance because now Devontae Adams is coming back now, and they were able to kill it without him. No, it's going to be Green Bay 100%. Jamal Adams is down in Seattle, and then it's very, very likely Chris Carson could go down next week.
If Green Bay beats the Bucks, I think it's Green Bay.
Yeah,
if they win their game today, I think they're going to be the longest undefeated team this season.
Yeah, I almost forgot about Tampa Bay. I think it should be Green Bay. I think because this is the most oh my God, what's the head coach's name in Green Bay? Him and Rodgers have finally got the balance of what both of them want, where they can establish the run and establish it really well. But Rodgers seems to have his to quote Stephen A. Smith, his bad man mentality, where he's just slinging it like we haven't seen in a few years from him. It's gonna be it's gonna be a shootout between Green Bay and Tampa Bay. I don't know how that's gonna happen. I think Green Bay's run game is going to help them because Tampa Bay does not have a run game whatsoever. But yeah, I would I'd say I would still say Green Bay, but Russell Wilson's running away with the MVP.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Rodgers is kind of playing with that. He's playing with that washed king mentality right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So everybody's been, especially before the season started. They drafted a quarterback. What's happening here? Are they going to continue? And he's looking like he's trying to shut everybody the fuck up. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
We talk about players that listen to, like, what people say. Aaron Rodgers listens to what people say.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's on Pat McAfee every week, and, like, he knows what is expected of him, what people think of him, and now it's just like, just watch. And I'm happy I have him on on one of my fantasy teams, and holy crap, he's slinging it like I think as good as he's ever had, basically, I think.
Oh, yeah. This is one of his best seasons so
far. What matchups this week are you guys looking forward to?
I think the Pittsburgh and Cleveland game could be really good. I mean, I think Cleveland's like outperforming what their expectations were.
Oh, that is going to be a very fun game.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
That should be good. Hopefully it's not a blowout.
Right. Green Bay, Tampa Bay, I'm assuming, is one everyone's going to
look for. Yeah, that's the game of the week right there.
Absolutely. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Kidding me?
Oh, man.
I am definitely tuning in to Washington, New York. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yo, Dolphins and Jets. That's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, Jakes and I have a invested interest in that.
Fun? Is what? fun.
As a Dolphins fan, sorry. If you're a
The
Dolphins,
Dolphins are gonna have a blast.
yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
very. Just
Yeah.
watching any team beat up the Jets is just gonna be fun this year.
Listen,
You know,
man, I don't know if you guys realize in fantasy, I just pick the defense that's going against the Jets every week and just start them. That's exactly what I've done for
That's
the
what
last.
that's what I did this week.
But
It's so
don't
fucking terrible.
So wait,
Don't-
who do you guys think is gonna win Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Green Bay, Tampa?
I got Cleveland coming out in that game. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Jets, if Cleveland really watches film the way they're supposed to, they're going to see how Philly found all the holes in that defense last week. And if they can capitalize on that, they're going to come out on top.
I
For
think
some reason, I
Defense.
feel like Green Bay and Tampa Bay is going to be a shootout, but I don't see them beating Green Bay. I don't see it happening.
here's what I think is going to happen with Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to come down to is Odell and Kareem Hunt 100% because last week Kareem Hunt wasn't 100%. You could see by the end of the game he was a little bit of pain there. Odell is coming off that illness, so it comes down to that for the Cleveland and Pittsburgh game. And then for Green Bay and Tampa, I think if Green Bay can throw off Tom Brady on his tempo, Green Bay will have it on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Odell's listed as questionable. He's going to play, but like he's on the injury report this week. I think Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to win that one. I think they're more polished. I think. Let's see if Claypool's the real deal, or if this was just a one-hit wonder last week. Because if he's the real deal, that helps Juju and Connor and the rest of the offense. I think Green Bay will win because I think as soon as things go wrong, I think Green Bay is more equipped to deal with it than Tampa Bay is because Tom Brady is on a short fuse, it seems, this year with the guys that he's around because he's been more I don't know if vocal is the right word, but it's more obvious when he is frustrated in Tampa Bay than he has with New England.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is very interesting.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
exactly what I mean. Just all they have to do is constantly get that pressure, which Green Bay can do, and then Tom Brady's will start making some bad throws, and then it'll just be a collapse from there.
Yeah.
I see the Steelers defense showing up in this one divisional matchup. They're gonna make their statement.
TJ Watt's going to have a lot of fun this week.
I think the Packers-Bucks will be a shootout, but Packers outlast.
This is me being a homer, but I am happy to finally see Cam back after giving me a heart attack for 2 weeks with Brian friggin' Hoyer. To see how he can go up against a Denver defense with no Von Miller. So I think he's going to have a lot of fun running around and trying to get Denver to catch him.
But it's interesting about Denver. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I think they're either first or like close to it in stopping the run out of all the teams right now. And so that could be some bad news for Cam Newton coming back.
Yeah, but I'm not as concerned about that because of the other COVID test. New England had an extra week to get rested and prep and deal with whatever Denver has.
Coming up, a lot of rest.
And knowing Cam, I'm sure he wherever he was being isolated, he was either working out or having a cigar after his workout. So I'm not that concerned. I'm concerned about Edelman's health because he's still on the injury. He's on the injury report. Whichever running back is going to be the front runner this week, God knows it's always a game of roulette there. But
anybody who has a Patriots running back on their fantasy roster, good luck to you.
Yep.
Good luck to you.
Fant is out for Denver, so they don't have their top tight end. So that's going to be interesting.
You don't have a top anything in Denver.
That's true. Although Judy's good.
Oh, yeah. As we expected.
Although I don't know how Denver's going to recover after cutting Blake Bortles. That's going to be heartbreaking for them. I don't know how they're going to rally around that.
Oh my God.
One last matchup that I think is going to be a lot of fun is Monday's 5:00 game, Chiefs and Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a
And
good
I just saw that Bell is inactive for the game, so he won't be making his debut just yet.
That makes sense.
Damn, I was looking forward to that. Still going to be a good game though.
I'm very excited for that game. Oh man, but Buffalo has been one of the most fun teams to watch this year for me. I have to say, Josh Allen has really turned it up a notch. And
Yeah.
Personally,
he has a connection with Diggs already that is astonishing.
Yeah.
I think Travis Kelce is going to have a really good game because the Buffalo's weakness is really in the zone and a linebacker, and so Travis Kelce lives there, and I think he's going to carve them up and just go for like 100 plus this game. I think that's what's going to happen.
So. Mm-hmm. Well, we saw Tennessee kind of figure Buffalo out last week.
The Rams torched them up the middle also when they nearly came back.
Yeah. The Rams destroyed them. I don't know how they ended up losing that game. I think it was a bad call. Yeah, it was a bad call that ended up being the deciding factor.
It was a pass interference call. And if they came back, the Rams would be another 5-0 team.
Yeah.
Like that NFC West is stacked this year. Like we say it every year, but all four teams are like really good. Or solid. The Niners are a bit shaky right now. But like
NFC West?
Yeah.
Was Rams, Niners,
Cardinals,
Seahawks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all well, again, if injuries didn't happen for the Niners, they'd be still up there. Kyler Murray is showing that he's the real deal and that he can run an offense with Kingsbury. The Rams have gotten over their previous Super Bowl ailments. I don't know what exorcism they did for that. And then Russell Wilson was Seattle.
So which division do you think, now that we're in week 6, which division do you feel is the toughest to be in?
I think it might be the AFC West, honestly. No, not the AFC West, the NFC West. Sorry.
Yeah, the NFC West?
Yeah.
I mean, going into the season, I thought it was going to be the NFC South, but obviously there was a lot of question marks, and the Falcons have really not proven themselves. But now I'm AFC North. It looks so tough. Take Cincinnati out of the picture, but those 3 teams right there are like.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let me ask you guys this: do you guys see like a 2020 Tennessee Titans? That starts off pretty shitty and then just turns it all around and just blows up.
I think there's a possibility. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have the same success they had in the playoffs last year, this year. Only because the league has gotten a lot tougher. There's a lot more better teams out there, as we just spoke about. The AFC North. The NFC West. So I don't think they're gonna have the same success, but they're gonna be good again. They're gonna be good again. Maybe not as good, but they're gonna be good again.
I think they can hold steady. I mean, if anything, they've just had more time to gel.
Yeah.
Right. As long as Derrick Henry stays healthy, Tannehill's just had to get away from Gaze. It looks like.
Honestly, Tennessee just needs to fix their O-line because I'm telling you, Jonnu Smith is just not being used enough because he's being used to block way too much. If they can figure out a situation where they don't need to rely on him to block as much, Jonnu can definitely be a top 5 tight ends. Like look at all the places he makes lots of like yards after the catch moves that it's like, why aren't they using him more? Because he has to block.
Yeah,
I think that's what Tennessee needs to figure out.
Yeah, he makes so much out of so little in that offense because of schemes and blocking. In terms of like who a team that could start off bad and finish strong for the rest of the season, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. But man, the Chargers cannot catch a break. Oh my God! If a couple of bounces go their way, it's every year we say this, but my God, Justin Herbert is the real deal, and like. I mean, we don't know about Tua yet, but like he could be the better option of the two. He is slinging it and making good decisions. And like I feel for the few Chargers fans that are still out there because my God, the breaks that team cannot catch. It is ridiculous. I can see them going on a hot streak for the second half of the season, but it won't be enough for them to make the playoffs or anything. But man, they're the worst team in the league. Oh my God.
Here's a bold take. Miami by next year will be a playoff team.
I hope so.
Ooh.
I hope so. I've got a soft spot for Miami. I love these young guys on that offense, and I've always been a fan of Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he just seems to be getting a little more consistent now. Obviously, he's not the quarterback of the future, but he can make it work another season. Let Tua develop.
I mean, look, the draft picks that they got this year, they could easily fix a good chunk of the problems. And if Tua pans out, what reason is there for them not to be at least like a wild card team?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the 7 spots now.
Even
There's
more
going to
so,
be
but
7 spots?
yeah,
Yeah.
they up the amount of spots that you can have a wild card.
Does that start this season?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have 2 extra teams in the playoffs this year?
Yep.
Damn. So only the top team gets a bye now,
Yep.
I'm assuming.
I believe so. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
I'll buy into that theory, Eric, that Miami could be a playoff team next year, but that is contingent on whether or not New England re-signs Cam Newton.
I could see that.
That's my thing. Because
I mean, New England would be stupid not to re-sign Cam. I'll just put that out there right now. They'd be foolish not to re-sign him.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see. I mean, if the AFC next year is still going to have Kansas City, still going to have the Ravens, still going to have Buffalo. Steelers don't seem to ever go away. Then it's like a question of like, does Cleveland hold steady?
Did you say the Ravens?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Titans still around, you know. But does Cleveland hold steady? Does the Colts hold steady? Do the Pats hold
Raiders?
steady? I'm not
Raiders.
a Raiders.
I believe in that Vegas team, man. I believe in that Vegas team. Like, they ain't gonna do nothing in the playoffs, but they gonna make it.
All right, let me ask you guys this: who's the most surprising team, either in a good way or a bad way? Who's the most surprising team so far this year?
The Falcons in a bad way.
Yeah.
The Falcons in a bad way.
Oh
my
yeah.
God. I think everybody expected this to be their bounce back year. You know, even if they didn't make the playoffs, we were expecting at least like a 10-6 kind of deal. You know, but boy, has that gone south. So
pun intended.
Yeah.
I wanted to say the Falcons, but I don't think I believed in them that much. I think the most surprising team to me is the Bears.
Yeah, in a good way for them. Yeah.
If you told me the Bears would be 4-1 with 2 different starting quarterbacks already, never would have believed it.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, Chicago is one of those teams that's pretending. By the end of the season, they're going to be what they are. They're going to be hot trash by the end of the year. I don't see them having a good winning record. They're going to be like maybe like 6 or 7 games once best wins.
Are you suggesting that the Bears are who we thought they were?
Well done. Well done.
Sorry, I had to.
Oh man. I don't know, man. I feel like that would have been the case if they stuck with Mitch, but I don't know. I feel like Nick Foles. I think he got something to prove. You know, I think Nick Foles still got something to prove. So we might see a playoff team. Maybe 9 wins.
Because I mean, to their credit, like guys like Montgomery have stepped up big for them in the run game.
Yeah.
I mean, Tariq Cohen's hurt, which sucks. They need to figure out how to make Allen Robinson happy. Because my God, they're going to lose him in the offseason probably, or some trade if they're not going to give him a new contract.
As long as he don't go to the Patriots or the Chiefs, I'm fine.
Can you imagine Allen Robinson to trade at the deadline to the Chiefs? That would just be lights out at this point.
Listen, we all know the Patriots are going to be trading for Michael Thomas. That's the new conspiracy theory that's floating around the Twitterverse. So that's going to happen.
I'm surprised y'all ain't try to get Le'Veon. I'm very surprised about that.
Yeah, I mean, what? Why not have another running back in that friggin' rotation? My God.
So I
you know what? I'd love to see Cam and Le'Veon on a team together. That would be exciting.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the only way the Patriots get Le'Veon is they would have had to cut at least 2 running backs because Le'Veon said he wanted a clear-cut role, and in the Patriots, he's not going to get that. So they would have had to cut at least 2 running backs to get.
He won't even get that in Kansas City, though. I don't think necessarily.
Well, no, it's gonna like what I think is going to happen with Le'Veon Bell and Clyde is Clyde's still going to get the early down work, and then Le'Veon's going to get the third down work, and he's going to get a lot more of the passing work. I think especially with Sammy Watkins going down, Le'Veon's going to be doing more of the passing work to kind of fill in that gap. And then when they need somebody to kind of blow out the third down and get through the O-line, that's going to be Le'Veon's game right there.
Or, and hear me out here, you trade Clyde, and then Le'Veon can be the premier back in Kansas City. There you go. We've solved it.
You stop that right now. You don't you because I swear if they trade Clyde to some team like Miami or something like that, I'm gonna be upset. Like that'll be it for me. I mean, hey, I said Miami can be a playoff team, but this year not gonna be a playoff team, and Clyde would just not. I don't think he would thrive in that team.
All right. I guess before we wrap, let's pick some winners for today's slate of games.
Let's do it.
All right,
All right, Houston at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yes,
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say Houston. No, I'm going to backtrack because I think Houston has some swagger now that they got rid of Bill O'Brien finally.
Nah, Titans.
Yeah, Houston looked good last week. I'll stick with Tennessee though.
Yeah. Cincy at Indy.
Cincy for the upset. Joe Burrow for the upset.
For my fantasy team's sake in the IFL, I want the Bengals to win big because I have Burrow starting.
But speaking of the Colts real quick, they need to get rid of Rivers quickly because if they had a quarterback that could actually make throws properly, they'd be a much better team right now.
Yeah, he's terrible this year. He's fucking awful.
I haven't watched them enough to say, but
Free Brissett. Let's go.
This guy has thrown to T.Y. Hilton like 5 times all year.
Rivers might as well close his eyes when he throws the ball because it would make no difference if he closed them or if he had them open because he's throwing them like just throwing picks like he's handing out candy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They were better off with Brissett. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He needs to just hang it up.
I'll still pick Indy this week. Atlanta at Minnesota.
Minnesota. I'm never picking Atlanta for the rest of the year. Not picking them. Minnesota.
No, I'm genuinely curious to see what can Atlanta do now that Dan Quinn's out. Just like what Houston did. You know, the first game without Bill O'Brien. Can they do the same thing?
These are both two disappointing teams so far. Like with the Vikings only having one win, I don't know.
Julio is playing for Atlanta, so that's gonna be interesting. If they actually throw it to him,
Julio's gonna be on the snap count, guaranteed. He's gonna play like half the game, and then after that, he's just gonna be on the field for a distraction.
I think it's the Atlanta defense, man. I go Vikings.
Madison's going off. I predict that.
Denver at New England.
New England.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. Washington at the Giants.
Tie.
Hey, you know what?
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me.
Listen,
I hope Alex Smith can come back in and start and get back to what he was doing because if he can get back into his groove, I think Washington can be a lot better than you'll give him credit for.
Yeah, I agree. They had to play against one of the toughest defenses last week, so that wasn't fun. But who knows? We'll see what happens. I mean, the Giants is another team that I'm not picking for the rest of the year, so I'll go Washington.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be
Washington.
Washington.
I guess as a Cowboys fan, but I don't know. I can't pick.
Who does Dallas play this week?
They're the Monday nighter. We'll get there. Baltimore at Philly.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
With
Cleveland
my
at
eyes closed.
Pittsburgh. We touched on already, but
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Cleveland.
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Chicago at Carolina.
That's going to be an interesting one, but I think Chicago will pull it out.
Carolina's gonna do it.
I want Teddy to do well, so yeah, go Carolina.
Detroit at Jacksonville.
Oh God.
Detroit.
Minshew! I'm rooting for Gardner.
I think Detroit's gonna do it now because Hawkinson's reportedly a lot much more healthier now, and I think he's gonna start showing why they drafted him in the first round.
I think James Robinson's going to run all over the Lions.
I'm gonna go Jaguars because Matt Patricia needs to go in Detroit.
Yeah.
Listen, Minshew for president. You heard me?
Bro, a
Well,
scarecrow would be a better president than your options right now.
before you move on to Detroit, I know Eric Bellamy. He's up for head coaching job. If he goes anywhere, I want him to go to Detroit because they got a lot of potential on offense. I think with Eric Bellamy could really turn that offense around and make it a really interesting team to watch.
Detroit continues to waste prime talent in Matt Stafford now. He a long list of great players in Detroit that have done F all.
This is the first good quarterback they have ever had, and they're wasting his talent. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
All right. Jets at Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Do we need to say it? Shit.
So, again, we touched on it, but Packers at Bucks.
Packers.
Yeah. And then tonight we have the Rams at the Niners. Nice division game.
Should be the Rams.
Rams.
I'll say the Niners figure their shit out.
Really?
Well, I mean, I just like them too, but whatever. Right. And then tomorrow we got Chiefs at Kansas City of Buffalo.
Don't get this wrong. It's Chiefs, right?
Okay.
I was expecting a but there. Like, don't get it twisted. It's the Chiefs, but okay. Yeah, it's Kansas City.
Yeah. Okay, and then finally, Monday night is Arizona at Dallas.
Ooh.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You know what it is, Jake?
I think Dallas can make it happen.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know. That defense is – Andy Dalton is going to ball the fuck out, but that defense is –
Yeah, our defense is so weird. And
Kyler's gonna be doing that like high step can move that he does when he like tries to cross somebody in the goal line. There, he's gonna be breaking some ankles.
Bro, DeAndre Hopkins is going for 200 yards receiving tomorrow night.
What's weird though is, I think it was in week 3 or maybe week 4. Whenever the Cowboys played Seattle, our defense did decent. Like, we got to Russell Wilson, we forced him to make some have to get the ball out right away and shit like that. And then the next week they played Cleveland and just couldn't stop a fly from buzzing slowly into the end zone. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Here's when I knew you guys were fucked. When I saw that the Giants put up 34 points, I was like, oh, yeah, these motherfuckers are terrible. Like, this is not a joke. Like, this hasn't been just a string of bad games. Like, y'all motherfuckers are terrible on defense, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it's tough.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna say Dallas. So.
Of course. You're thinking with your heart. You're thinking with your heart, young man. You ain't thinking with your head. It's cool. It's all right.
All right. Any last points?
I think we should all go with like one upset game. Like, if there's going to be one upset game, where's it going to come from?
One upset this week?
Well, I picked Houston over Tennessee, so I think that's an upset.
Yeah,
pick.
That's an upset. That's definitely an upset. I'm going Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow for the win.
Yeah, that was another one I picked. You know what? Because both teams are so fucking sloppy, if there was a game for the Jets post all this garbage, maybe they can do it against Miami. I don't know. That would be the ultimate upset pick.
Hey. Whoa. Not this week.
Let's not get outrageous here, okay? Adam Gase needs to go like tomorrow.
So true. I'm sorry.
He needs to go yesterday, but
maybe if they fire Adam Gase, they'll get a win. Maybe
he needs a contract extension right now.
I'll say the Niners are my upset then, I guess.
Yeah, that's an upset. The way they've been playing this year, that's definitely a fucking upset.
I mean, I guess technically the Cowboys would be an upset over. I don't know. Maybe they're not. No, never mind. Arizona's 3-2.
The Cowboys are the favorite, just because maybe they're the home team.
Maybe.
No, you know what? For Jay, I'll say this for him. I think if Atlanta beats Minnesota, that could be an upset. Just given their current performance.
If Atlanta beats anybody, it's an upset at this point. Yeah.
Shit, if Atlanta beats a cold, it's an upset.
I mean, Jermaine's already got a Trevor Lawrence jersey pre-ordered probably at this point.
Nigga, that shit probably at his house already.
He's wearing it as we speak to church. under his Sunday best.
Clark Kent, you know what I mean?
He steps up at the pulpit of the congregation. Can I get an amen for Trevor Lawrence?
No, look. Jay has right now. He has his Matt Ryan jersey, and on the back he's got tipped over Lawrence.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's probably real.
I'm surprised with the Falcons. I'm surprised they fired Dimitrov along with that because he put the pieces were there. It was just they never got somebody to actually use it properly. So when they fired him and Quinn, I was like, oh damn, that's a complete clean slate for whoever's taking over now.
I think that was a frustration fire, Dimitrov. They're probably just like, you know what, fuck it, you two go.
You hired him, so get the step.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's going to be great when Bill O'Brien gets hired as the head coach and GM of the Falcons.
Oh, my God. I think if you wanted to get Jermaine to switch teams, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
That would be the way to do
it. Julio Jones to the Patriots for N'Keal Harry.
Oh, shit.
No. If it was Bill O'Brien, it would be Rex Burkhead for Julio Jones.
Oh. Burkhead? Oh, my God. Yeah, Jermaine would lose his fucking mind, bro.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
All right.
That's a way to end it off. I like that.
Football in 12 minutes.
I could hear Jermaine right now cursing us out as we speak. I don't know if you listen carefully.
He probably these motherfuckers is on that show talking shit. I know they are.
It's his spidey senses. He got a little twitch up at church right now.
All right, man. Bad luck in all your fantasy matchups.
Yeah, Figs, it's you and me this week, buddy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, if that's the case, fuck Joe Burrow. Taking the coach.
Listen, Burrow's gonna be nice. You're gonna have to watch Devontae Freeman score a bunch of points for the Giants, and you're like, damn, he's helping Panky out.
If he does that the week that he plays against me, oh my God. That would just be my luck.
I'm going to change my team name to Catcher Freeman for you and Jermaine if that happens.
I'm going to ride out with that.
Oh,
man.
All right, gentlemen, on that note, this has been another edition of Ignorant Sports Talk, back after the delay. Hopefully we didn't disappoint everybody who is listening and watching. Stay ignorant, stay safe out there, and let's enjoy some football today, gentlemen. Cheers.
Go Lakers.
No, Lakers. No, stop that.